Wake up. Wake up.
Wake up! Wake up!
Alright. And I bought this in-game. I don't actually own an Aurora, but I wanted to play one just for the fun of seeing how it worked.
Your ship has been delivered to the following landing pad.
Now, in an Aurora, your best bets are going to be box missions and bounty missions if you're decent at ship combat, or you're fairly good at combat in these kind of games. The only upgrade I made to this, I did put, it doesn't look like an Aurora. Huh. That, I'm getting in it just for fun. This may go bad. I guess. Yeah, this is do what I mean.
Welcome to Robert Space Industries. Enjoy the ride. System check.
Did I get free? Oh my gosh. I did. I'm not damaged. I figured it would have blown me up. I wonder what happened there. If that's somebody. Huh, that was weird. Hey, delivery missions are cool. I don't want to land at Tisa. That one looks alright. Now I gotta pick it up. Oh, is it? Dang it. I should have known that. Should have figured as soon as I started they'd go live. And for some reason I never can find the channel. Must have it turned off or something.
Again, the good doctor.
At Rocket Mortgage, we get it.
Mute the darn commercials.
Radar contact.
Waiting on the commercials. 3, 4, 5, whatever it is. There we go.
Yeah, we get some free QA, is kind of the thing. But it's good. I mean, it's a good deal, right? Because you guys get some new content, we get some new feedback, everybody wins.
That's how it's supposed to work.
Everybody wins.
Richard, I
And
understand-
also, when we do actually, you know, obviously work towards the PvE side of things, one thing that we will get is that we'll get a different set of feedback. So, you know, when it's PvP, when it's player against player, and when we have that more focused experience, you know, in the Good Doctor or any other map too, I think that will give us some really good feedback, and it will be different compared to the PvP feedback. It potentially be different player base in terms of people who really focus on the PvE side or the PvP side. So I think it, from a holistic point of view of getting all of that information, that would be something that would be really good going forward and allow us to get that feedback to actually balance it for Squadron and for PU.
Oh. Now I understand you've got some images from the Good Doctor map. Since we brought it up now, let's go ahead and take a look.
Yes.
We've seen one image so far. We don't have video today, but we do have some screenshots that we can take us through.
Actually,
Maybe tell us what it is that we're looking at.
Do that different.
Is that coming through?
That is
Yeah.
coming through.
Cool. So this is actually the it's on a slideshow. 1 second. I think it's is that still coming through?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is actually, you can actually just see outside here. So this is the internal reception area for the Good Doctor map. So it's actually one of the first maps that we have that's actually embedded on a real planet. So as we were talking before, this is actually a real planet that this is actually embedded on, and this is the internal kind of the main atrium area that provides the access from to outside to the interior and to the habitation on the other side, and then to the science labs on this side. So if I actually go through, so here you can see this is actually the science labs, and you can see it's a different feel, and that's something that we really wanted to have a difference compared to the other maps that are already released, is that
I've seen
this map
this
we wanted
thing,
it to feel
or bits and
fairly
pieces
light
of it.
and bright. So you can see in the atrium it's got that exterior lighting, and here it's fairly bright and it fits in with this science. But you also get these unique areas of the map. So in obviously some other maps where it's quite dark, you can't really tell where you are. It's very clear in terms of, okay, this gives you a really good read on the areas that you are, and then this is more the habitation side of things. So the habitation, obviously, it's been more dressed up, it's more warmer colours, whereas the science labs part of it's more colder colours. And this, we really spent a lot of time on the FPS side to make sure we got good line of sight, good areas, and also, if actually just switch back to here, one of the big things that we wanted to do was push some of the line of sights, so that you weren't just going around a corner and it was a quick, shoot off, that we had some more medium to longer range gameplay. So as we keep going, see this is more of a top-down view of that initial atrium area, and then if I keep going, so this is now outside. So we've got the outside area is fairly flushed out. You can't actually jump off as much as you probably will want to onto the planet, so it's still a kind of focused experience in terms of this map, but it just provides a bit of difference that you can go interior and exterior and get a bit of a sense of a more representative gameplay that would be on the PU rather than just a specific gameplay mode. Here we've got another exterior, or you're the interior looking outside.
Okay, so this is the new Star Marine
And some
map.
more of the habitation areas. But I really like the art on this. Actually, you can see some of the, if we touch on the lore, some of how the Good Doctor came to be and how it fits into the lore of Star Citizen.
Yeah, you're doing such a good job. Do you want to talk about some of the lore?
That's absolutely.
Oh.
Absolutely,
I will
want
stop
to
sharing.
This is one of the more interesting changes to Star Marine that I think is that we're starting to build, I guess, scenarios or situations that are reflective of moments in our lore.
Well, yeah, it's one of the things when I took some of this combat pillar stuff over, and we were talking about the Arena Commander electronic access games. Overall, the thing that always surprised me was the amount of lore, even working here, that we have. I mean, the stories are just, there's so many, and so many interesting ones. And I felt like, okay, some of them are not big enough to tell in a grand Squadron 42 game, or not even big enough maybe to tell in missions or something. But maybe the scenario is something that we can tell within Star Marine or Arena Commander. Why don't we make this less about a game where it's like, okay, log in, get your ship, kill 10 waves, see ya. It's just not as compelling when we have as much lore that we have. So I really, really want to be telling kind of scenario-based stories. And what this makes is something that's a little more. You can set it up to be like an objective-based game mode where it's actually telling stories from the lore. And wouldn't this be what the electronic access thing would be? Because again, we talked about the concept of the oasis within Star Citizen, right? So electronic access is this oasis. Now, what would those people do with it within Star Citizen? So you're a person, you live in the verse. What do you do for fun? Well, the same way that we, I'm sorry, I'm not American.
In an
so the
RPG
Gettysburg, what do they call those?
Reenactments.
Reenactments, thanks. Things like reenactments, or we go to the medieval fair, or we go watch knights beat the crap out of each other with wooden swords. Things like, some people see steel swords, or what is that? The Renaissance fair, right?
Renaissance fair.
And I talk about it like I've gone to all of these things like so many times, but not quite yet. So basically, being able to retell those certain scenarios from within the Star Citizen lore, whether it was 100 years ago in terms of the PU time to the actual time that they were telling about. Because, for example, the Good Doctor is 100 years before the time of the PU. It's a whole thing that happened before. But I think telling that story within the objectives of the map is just so much more compelling than jumping into a deathmatch map and it feeling like the Quake or Doom just from just for the sake of having a deathmatch. I want to tell some scenarios. Want to tell some of the stories because I think they're quite interesting.
And to be honest, I think it also helps with us that we're tying Star Marine and eventually Arena Commander to the PU. That it is a connected experience. It is, like we said, about electronic access. It's this game within a game. And we want to make them feel like they're connected, and it's not just this, like you said, you load up and it's a 10 wave deathmatch, and it just feels like it's just a different scenario. But it is actually it's part of the PU, and that's something that we want to get that feeling across, that it is an extension of the PU.
Yeah, it's now this is of course stuff that we're working towards as far as what they're going to see in 3.7 is this map brought forward on its own to serve as a deathmatch map.
And then to give you a great
that's
example,
kinda
like we hope to put it in the
disappointing if
patch,
this
but
is all
we're
about
grabbing some
Arena
new audio
Commander and
that
Star
is going to
Marine.
again support the lore and the story.
They're great, but I'm not real big into those.
Within again,
I want to know about
we'll have some
PU 3.7.
and then as we progress on the sort of swarm mode or AI or anything like that, that's when we'll really be able to tell that story, right? I know I'm sure people are thinking, oh my God, they're going to put zombies, and no, we won't put zombies, but the story of the Good Doctor has a lot to do with the cultists. So Dr. Fael was basically a very, very charming and great leader. Anyways, a good inspirer. And a lot of the screens that you see within the Good Doctor are quotes from him.
Yeah, just going by the name.
They're things
Star
that
Citizen Live, Arena Commander, and Star Marine.
Is how they're actually termed.
And that's all they have in the name, so that's kind of
I think it'll be an interesting thing to be able to do.
Surely they'll have something about the Q&A.
One of the questions from the chat asks, why don't we just use FPS ships or ships as FPS maps? Like, why don't we just stick a Starfarer in there and let people run around a Starfarer? Stick a Hammerhead in there and let people run around as a Hammerhead as an FPS map. Seems like it would be a super easy way to make FPS maps.
It would be a super easy way to make an FPS map, but you wouldn't have made an FPS map. That's the problem. So it seemed, because I thought the same thing. It's like, okay, cool. We've got all these ship interiors. Oh my goodness, we've got the Starfarer, you've got the Caterpillar. These things are whole levels in themselves. Why don't we just grab the interiors of those and fight in them? Well, the problem is they've not really been designed to do FPS combat, and to do FPS combat.
Deathmatch and
Deathmatch or team deathmatch, or balanced in such a way that it would be fun to play. I think you can do that, and actually, we see these on live streams and stuff like this where people do have fun doing it.
Yes, they do.
But I mean, there's only one hallway to get through a thing, for example, right? Most of our players don't shoot like stormtroopers. They're actually pretty good. So you ain't going to be getting through that door. It's things like that. It's just not going to be as fun as it is, because those ship interiors weren't necessarily designed with, hey, Team A is here and Team B is here and these are attackers, these are defenders, this is the sight line, this is the sight line. They were designed with, interior of a ship design in mind for obvious reasons, right?
The operation of the ship and the PU, not
exactly,
deathmatch.
Exactly. So I would say that a cooler thing would be modes like, trying to board or do something like that where you've got to disable ships. And again, if we could tell a scenario where it's disable the ship, board the ship, go through the ship, whether it's fighting AI within the ship or fighting other players, I think that's a more interesting thing than just dropping the interior of a ship on and then fighting.
Right. So instead of using something like a Caterpillar or a Hammerhead or an 890 jump for deathmatch,
right?
You're talking about considering something like an entirely new game mode, specifically to practice breaching, specifically to practice flying through, getting through the ship and taking over.
And maybe get away from game mode and think scenario, right? We would set up a scenario that would just make sense for that. And again, there's so many stories, I'm telling you, in the lore. Like, I open up Confluence, lucky for me, I can get access to all the Dave stuff, where it's like, there's so much in there that is there. Like, you could come up with so many things just from those stories that are within there. Again, I think that would be that's the way to go, rather than game mode. Right. Scenario. And
when you see these things on stream, that's how they're setting it up too. They're creating they're creating their own scenario.
Because it's way more fun. It's way more fun, and it's a little more meaningful too. And actually, it's a little more. It's fun to watch too.
So not as just a blank check deathmatch or team deathmatch, but a specifically crafted scenario.
I mean, it's incredibly uninspired if you think about it, right? I mean, deathmatch, right? I mean, of course.
Richard, let's take another look into the future here. Medical mechanics are a large missing part of general FPS gameplay that would greatly affect balancing decisions and stuff like that. What can you tell us about our plans for medical gameplay?
So medical gameplay is something, again, that we wanted to take into account for lots of different things. So we've been looking at it early on. It's something that will be coming in the future. So, if you play Battlefield or any other online shooter or game like that, you've got the defibrillators and you can actually go and help your teammate up. So, in terms of a team match or these scenarios that we're discussing, the ability to actually revive your teammate and bring him back from the depths rather than having to respawn at a particular area. Obviously, that would change the dynamic. So it's absolutely something that we're looking at. Obviously, within our game, we'll actually have a more detailed analogy going forward in terms of you being able to heal others, heal yourself, and we actually do want to actually move the med pens so that you're actually carrying them in your hand, so that rather than just an automatic use, that it is something that you can equip and then target and things like that. So obviously we're thinking about it. We're in the very early stages of coming up with the design, so and to making sure how that fits into the PU, into Squadron, into Star Marine. So it's absolutely something that's on the agenda.
I need that where you can heal other players.
That's it. The next question is a very common one. It comes up quite a bit. Multiplayer lobby support in Arena Commander. The ability for players to all load into the same Hammerhead, or to all load into the same 890 jump if that's what you want to fight in or whatever. What can you tell us about any plans, any intentions?
Yeah, we've actually worked on a design for this already with the internal game team that we've got there. Again, it's not a ton of people by any stretch, so we can only work on stuff slowly. And it's the same even for myself. Again, I've got this combat pillar here, but I've also got 3 other departments that I run at the same time. So again, there's a amount of work that goes into it. So we do a lot of the design work anyway. So design's already been done for that given, let's call it a lobby anyways, but it's really a change to the lobby matchmaking and friend group kind of support, but outside of the PU, like at the launcher kind of level or at the main menu kind of level. So yeah, we've already done that, and that is so important to be able to do, because right now, for example, if me and Rich wanted to go play in a Super Hornet and we want to do Vandal Swarm, Pirate Swarm, whatever, to make that happen is kind of a pain, because we both have to join, right? We've got to get to the same thing. He's going to go bail out of whatever ship he got. He's going to go get into my ship, and then we can progress. And then if we die or something, we've got to do it all over again. So I think that's pretty silly. We need to be able to group up long before we're in the map, and then choose that map as a group, and whether there's a group leader or something like that. So we've got that design actually in place, and it's a lot. You could call it a fleet manager, you could call it however you want to do it, but it's really important that we're able to not only say what friends are in your group, what they're doing, what you're about to go do, but also be able to place those guys within seats within the ship, because just getting them spawning standing in the cargo bay is not that useful. It's better than what we've got.
Especially when the wave's about to start.
Exactly, but sometimes you don't even have that. So again, like on a Super Hornet, if I wanted Rich to be gunning and I wanted to be piloting, I want to be able to set that up and then join the game, right? Yes, so yeah, we've got the design for it. So the technical things that are in front of that have everything to do with the matchmaking services. So you'll be happy to know, though, that we just completed the whole changeover and the refactor of this. So we are not thinking about a refactor, we've just completed it. So that's all done. And that needed to happen in the last 3 to 6 months or so. And it had to happen for PU for other reasons anyways, for all these things. Mm-hmm. So now that that's done, we can actually pull that out and we can change the matchmaking that was set up again with that first map Broken Moon, years ago, 5 years ago. So we can upend that, we can get our group system at the front end a lot more robust and a little bit easier to use. And this way we can shunt them, into a ship together or whatever. The other nice little benefit that's going to come, and I don't know if it'll hit 3.8 or 3.9, but it'll be right between the two of them, is it'll allow us to do our round cycling. So one of the things that really annoys me with Star Marine significantly, Arena Commander a little bit, is that once you complete a round or you've lost, you've won or whatever, you're kicked all the way back out to the main menu. That is like it's such a game development, game design 101 faux pas. It's like once you get them in the game, don't kick them out. Like you've just got them in there. You've just paid, whatever, hundreds of millions of marketing or whatever to get these guys in your game, and you play one round and boop, it's like, that's weird. So we need them to stay in the round. We want the round to keep going. Basically, like it should complete, and just like a lot of other games anyways that you've played. Once the round's complete, you get a nice scoreboard, but then a new round starts without any other tomfoolery going on, right? So we want the same thing within Arena Commander, Star Marine as well. So all that matchmaking refactor stuff and the work towards a lobby where it's just a lot easier for them to set up the settings they would want in Arena Commander or even a Star Marine match, all kind of go together.
Yeah, because actually touching on that lobby refactor, just being able to change your loadout, select your loadout from a Star Marine point of view. So I think what happened is we had obviously Star Marine and Arena Commander, and we obviously wanted to get those game modes in there to actually test that core gameplay. But the extraneous things, the things that obviously Sean is talking about, obviously, the smoothness of not having to kick you out of the game or how you actually get into the game is something that we're also going to be focused on going forward, so that we can actually make, from you double-clicking the executable to actually getting into the game, to actually continue playing the game, to make that whole experience a lot smoother so that you can actually stop railing against the machine and actually get into the game and enjoy that aspect. So it's definitely something that's on our mind and something that we're absolutely thinking of going forward.
We've talked a lot in the past, and you even mentioned it on this show, about how Electronic Access and Star Marine and Star Citizen are games within our game. So it tends to be a little arcadey sometimes with with the pickups and stuff.
Yeah.
A lot of folks, and that's what this question is about, seek an experience that's closer to what they have in the PU. Like they're looking for an experience in Arena Commander that's much closer to what they can do in the PU, so that they can actually practice without the cost of insurance costs, replacing their ships and stuff like that. What are our plans? What are our thoughts about making Star Marine and Marine Commander closer to a PU experience?
Well, we've got a lot of thoughts on that, and we've started some stuff internally, and we're really hoping to get this in front of people sooner than later,
I'm gonna leave the volume
and a
on.
lot sooner than you might think. So, Arena Commander. Let's start with Arena Commander. Arena Commander is a great, again, I sort of said petri dish. It is the core gameplay of ship combat in Star Citizen. Cool. Let's say it's a portion of Star Citizen. It definitely isn't all of it, right? And then you got Star Marine, which is yet another portion. But then you've got other things within it. Again, flight within atmosphere, flight near the ground. You've got, again, different weapon types, different ranges, and things like this. And right now, Star Marine, nor really Arena Commander, as a standalone product, well represents what Star Citizen, to me, and to a lot of the developers, I would think just generally to everybody, really represents.
The title
because Star Citizen is the
indicates,
whole
yeah.
of all of
I mean,
those.
that's
It's the
kind of
whole
what I'm
ship, It's the
thinking.
whole of the character. It's the interchange between the two that are
to
happening.
me,
The ship, or
Arena
the
Commander
ground
and
vehicles fighting,
the
air
Marine
vehicles, that's air
one-
vehicles fighting. Again, it's all of that. It's a mixed arms game. It's
are
it's
great
it's a combined
distractions
arms
for when
game.
you get tired
more
in
similar
here, maybe.
or,
But yeah,
if I was
they're
comparing
not
it.
really.
Star Citizen, it's not Call of Duty. It's definitely not Gears of War or anything
They're
like
not
that.
something
It's
that
a much
I'm
more
extremely
akin to a
interested
Battlefield.
in.
It's much more akin to PlanetSide or something like that. In terms of the core combat gameplay, I'm not saying the economy and everything else. I'm just talking about the core combat gameplay.
But I'm sure there are a lot of people that
So,
that's their main
yes, there's
thing
economy and
too.
everything
So.
else. So the concept here
There's
is
certainly
if
people
you
with
could
interest in it.
basically take
For me,
30 minutes,
it's not
and I
much.
would bring somebody off the street and I'd go, okay, I'm going to show you what Star Citizen is in 30 minutes, right? I kind of don't want them to go load up the PU. Because right now, if I go load up the PU, even as a developer,
Enjoy the ride.
I wake up at the port all day, get out of bed, now what? And a brand new guy is like, if nobody's saying, go to the ship terminals, get a ship, go do a mission, go do some mining, whatever. It'll take some time to get into it. And by half an hour, maybe he started mining at that moment. Now,
So you'd
some of
rather
us
have people think
don't
the
have as
game
much time.
is
We
represented
need
by
that 30 minutes to be an
arcade
adrenaline-filled
minigame?
experience. Like
I'm
if I
not sure
could
what
take
he's
30
saying
minutes of the PU in the very best case, like everything went exactly how we want it to be set up. We've got people here, we've got people here, they've got these vehicles, they've got these vehicles. This is the scenario that they have to go in. That would be an enthralling and exciting experience to me. And that would more represent what Star Citizen ultimately really is and what happens within the PU. So the best thing we could get is, getting combat to work within a sort of round-based,
I disagree
objective-based,
with him.
scenario-based
I even have
game.
to mute this here. He's telling us that the PU doesn't represent the game, and that he can give them a better idea by going into these side games, and that's what you'll be doing in the PU. But didn't he just say the PU isn't like that? I don't see. It looks better. That's what he's trying to say. It looks better because you can get into faster action. Yeah.
And it's over.
Well, he's trying to
how many
make the
degrees
game
these
sound
things
more
that
exciting
we've created
by
to exist.
presenting a more exciting
again,
or
that would
faster
really have a
paced
big
part of it.
Earlier.
part of that game,
yeah.
like Ballista, for example, or a Valkyrie, for example. Those things are really, really meaningful. in
The
those
game
sorts
is
of
like the
setups.
game.
And they all
It's
have
not
roles.
like
and
Arena
I think
Commander.
those roles have been
It does take time
in
to
a
get
lot of
into
cases,
it.
anyways, that aren't.
And trying
in a lot of
to
cases, they haven't
represent
really
it as
been
more fast-paced
they
by
haven't really been
demonstrating the game by Arena Commander or the
proved,
Marine
in that
Commander
sense.
is
So again, Ballista being a really
isn't
powerful
realistic
idea.
to me.
Show me it happen, right?
That's not at all what the actual PU or the actual game itself is like.
Together, that's kind of the combination of Arena Commanders. Makes a lot of sense.
Building a microcosm.
Yeah, I get what he's
It's like the
saying.
Precision
It
Universe
shows
is a
out
macrocosm.
those two
Taking Star Marine and Arena Commander and turning it
side
into a
games, whatever you
microcosm,
want to
a
call them,
condensed,
do
a
show
condensed
up
version of
out
what you
the
would
more
you could experience in the
exciting
PU.
part
Yes,
of the game.
but without
you
massively changing the rules.
And that's
right?
what
Like,
he's trying to
everybody's going to
say.
come into it with a certain set of expectation in terms of how does it work already in the PU. Now, because of the concept of, again, electronic access being a simulation, yeah, we could probably get away with changing a lot of it, but we don't want it to be a different game. Also, we don't have the resources to actually make a whole separate sort of game, like, and that's one of the difficulties with doing this. So, yeah, I think that's going to be a very interesting idea to research.
I think the other thing as well, when we look at that, is that if we make it more representative on the PU, it's a more efficient on the development side as well. Because,
yes, of course.
You know, we're looking at designing these systems that are feeding the PU, you know, going into squadron, and if these systems are all being utilized in that same manner, then it helps us make better decisions. Because, you know, if we're trying to make, oh well, the gunplay's not very good in PU, but it's great in Star Marine, well, that's not what we want. What we want is that Star Marine is representative of what the PU is, and then we know that if it's good in the PU, it's good in Star Marine. And that's why when we talk about, you know, these, say the Good Doctor, for example, trying to have a bit more longer range of sights, or when we've released attachments,
like the
so
idea
scopes,
of
you've got more view sight, you know, you've got longer ranges. So I think
it
that's
more
something
like
that we
the
absolutely
PU.
want to go towards, that, you know, Star Marine and Arena Commander are more reflective. Like you said, that you know, that 5-minute adrenaline filled junkie section, or I always might call it like the trailer of the PU. It's all of the condensed good bits that we say, okay, this is what it could be, in the very, like, the microcosm that you said, and then that gives us, from a development side of things, that we can actually really get, okay, any feedback that we get, anything that we want to change, any balance that we want to work towards, that we're using those resources efficiently across all the 3 products, not just, okay, we're doing this for Star Marine, because then you get a really dangerous balance that we're dealing with multiple different SKUs, and to be honest, that's not what we want. We want it to be good across all 3, so that's definitely something that we've discussed previously.
Very well said.
Following up on what you said about, you know, being able to maximize the efficiency of work, being able to set work to multiple things. One of the questions is asks if locations made for Arena Commander and Star Marine, like the Good Doctor, are designed with the idea that one day they'll be included in the PU.
I wouldn't say they're designed with that mentality in mind necessarily. I think it's almost the other direction, a little more, where something that got created for the PU, we want to try to reuse as much as possible. So super interesting on the Good Doctor map, that very little of that is brand new art. Very little. You know, a bit of the exercise areas, some of the treadmills, the dumbbells.
Like the dumbbells had to be made.
That got made. But generally, that was reused building sets. And that's the whole idea here, is that, you know, we don't need a 100-man team to make this new stuff. We've got 90 gigs worth of
modular assets.
Yeah, that we can use, and actually, if you can kit bash that stuff together and make it look as good as that looks, right? That looks totally unique in its own sense. So why not? Now, having said that, it is a representation of what Lear 2 planet would be. Having said that, it's not actually what Lear 2 is going to be in the actual PU. Now, can I sort of hand wavy this away where it's like, oh, well, it's electronic access, it's just a simulation, so kind of, yeah. But the reality of it is that we've not made Lear 2 as a planet yet. And actually, what we created, we really wanted to have a planet-side location. We wanted it to be on Lear 2 because of the story and the lore and everything. So yeah, we took the Hurston planet, tweaked it, and dropped the map on it, and called it a day, right? So this is not taking a whole team's worth of people to do that. Yeah, we want to tweak it a little bit, but Lear 2 will likely end up looking a little bit different in sense, but let's say that we're kind of teasing what it might look like. So I would say that the mentality is actually not the way of, you know, building those specific things for Arena Commander or Star Marine or any other mode for that matter, and then giving them over to the PU. It's more the PU will build something and we will consume it as much as possible.
You've mentioned several times that it's actually the Good Doctor level is actually there on a planet.
Yes, well, and yeah, we don't talk about that enough. We've not done that yet.
Yeah. So when players load into the Good Doctor, they're actually loading the entire planet.
Yeah, it's actually. Yeah, and it sounds super inefficient when you say that. But yeah, it's actually more efficient to do that than it is to cull it out. So there's actually more expensive to cull, but it's just the way the planets are built, right? And they're not that expensive.
So they're built to be super efficient.
And you know, Marco is incentive on that. Like, the planets run really quickly. The planets are not the problem, right? The planets are very seldomly our performance issues. It's all the stuff on them that becomes a problem. So yeah, most of that planet is there. There's not anything on it though, which is the thing. So if they can figure out how to bug out outside of that,
They just get to run.
Take a tour of an empty planet. Yeah, sure.
Richard, what's your strategy for balancing FPS combat? This person asks, do you tune it towards more highly skilled players? Do you tune it towards the entry level? What are our thoughts about the general balancing of FPS combat?
I think when we come to balancing anything, really, we want to be tuning it for what feels fun for everybody. I think, tuning it for a specific part of the player base, I don't think gives us what we want. So if we tuned it for some of the highly skilled players, I think the more inexperienced players would have a harder time, and vice versa. If you tuned it for the new, the new people, then the more skilled players wouldn't have an effective time. So I think what we want to do is actually provide an experience that is accessible to everybody, but also has enough depth for the more experienced players to actually invest more time, learn how to use those mechanics and go forward from there. So I think from a balance point of view, any system, not just FPS weapons, I think you always balance it for the mid ground so that it is accessible as absolutely can be, so that people can come in, and especially when you're talking about Star Marine and Arena Commander, where it's basically you drop in, it's plug and play. I think obviously less so on the PU, where you've got more of a time to kind of absorb what's there, kind of understand, and it's a more slower pace. You have more opportunity to learn. I think in terms of when it comes to FPS gunplay, though, I think you absolutely have to tune the weapons so that you get a good sense of feel. How does this feel from a realism point of view? How does it feel from an audio point of view? How does it feel from the visuals? Or the gameplay point of view? Is it all tying together to create that one unique experience for this gun, so that if you then drop, say you drop that pistol and then you get another pistol, that they feel different. It provides a different experience. So I think when we're tuning weapons, we're tuning to play styles, not to skill. And I think those play styles are what define the roles that you play in combat. So if you're looking at a sniper, and then you're wanting long range combat.
Well, we
if
were
you're looking
talking
at
about
AR, then
that
you're looking at more of a
crazy.
medium range combat.
They all are
SMG
very
shotgun, you're looking at more
enthusiastic.
low range combat, and then you might want to
I don't
mix it
think
up.
it's
You might want to
job
provide a pistol,
security
but it has
necessarily.
a 10-inch
It's
10-inch
just
barrel, so
very
that
enthusiastic.
it provides more mid-range suppression. So I think from a point of view of that FPS
That's
weapon
good.
balance,
I mean, that's
you
what
always
you want.
balance to play styles and then absolute accessibility. But then you want to up, maybe we have different fire modes. So the Salvo, for example, which has a secondary fire mode. If somebody just picks that up as a new player, they can use it, fire it, it's a 50 cal weapon, they'll do well, point and shoot. But vice versa, if you want to be, okay, I'm going to use the frag mode, I'm going to change the fire mode, I'm going to add attachments, I'm going to add a laser dot, or maybe I'll go for an underbarrel flashlight. It's all of those decisions that add depth to the combat, that allow other players, the more experienced players, to invest in that. And I think that's something that we'd always try to do. So I think, I suppose, to answer your question in a short term, is that we don't balance for either. We balance, it's a different type of balancing.
For inclusiveness.
Yes, absolutely, because we want people who play the game to ultimately
There was
enjoy
a lot
the game.
for
So
just
I
we
think that
balance
comes
it
from,
for everybody.
in PU and AC and SM. When I was
That's
much
basically
younger,
all he-
I
all
was
he
much
said.
more hardcore FPS, want to shoot, but as I get older, family, you have less time, but you don't have as much time to invest. So
Yeah,
I think we
not
want to
have the
cater for all
emotion there.
different types of players. And I think when you think about it, I think play styles is always the best way to think about it. It's like, why would we make this weapon? Why does it exist? What purpose is it delivering in the combat? Why would you pick this weapon over this other weapon? And I think that's something that we've actually been looking at with the new weapons, and we actually want to revisit a lot of the old weapons. And I think, to be honest, balance is something that never stops, especially in an online game. It's something that you're constantly going over. Okay, the meta's changed here, or this new weapon has changed the dynamic. Or, for example, we were talking about healing. Healing might totally change how effectiveness, alpha strike weapons are. And I think, if you've got a shotgun, but all of a sudden your friend can then revive that person who's just been shot and taken out, then it changes that dynamic. So I think balance is something that's always an ongoing process for across the whole game, not just FPS weapons, but economy, your ship balance, you can see the flight model. So I think that's something that we'd always look to endeavor to work on. But it's something that we've actually been really focusing on in terms of the weapons
everybody can be
find
that,
a unique
you know.
existence for each weapon. And I think any new weapon going forward, we're hoping to try and get that niche, unique gameplay and how that feels, so that it gives you a real identity in terms of why you want to use that weapon, and vice versa. Look at all the existing weapons that we've already released and say, okay,
That precise.
maybe the shotguns, for
My
example,
wife
maybe
tends
they're
to call
feeling too
it
similar.
neur-
Maybe we want to,
neurotic
change one to be a full auto, that kind of thing. So it's something that constantly being worked on. But yeah, hopefully that's gives you a bit more insight into how we go around working on the weapons.
Just give me my Team Arena rocket jump and my Tribes 2 spin fuser, and I'll be good, Richard.
Old school. We were just talking
Well, I
about
do
friendly
say
fire.
Star Citizen's the every game, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd love to see him get that
We're actually
player
almost out
healing.
of time, so we got time. I'm going to try to
You
get
can
3
heal
more
your
questions in.
partner.
I know, we're actually 10 minutes over, so we're going
Heal
to try to get
others.
3 more questions in. From the chat, can we please add jetpack? I just said Tribes 2 in the chat is asking about jetpacks.
Jump jets.
Jump jets.
Yeah,
jetpacks.
and most people know I'm coming from a MechWarrior background too, so I'm a big fan of that. Now we're not going to do tribes, okay? So you're not going to be skiing. You're not going to be.
I'm out.
Yeah, I know. So it's not going to be repetitious jumps. You're not going to be bounce, bounce, bounce. But if you see a cookie, at a really high cabinet, you'll be able to make that one jump. So we're kind of calling it jump assist. So it uses your thruster pack and EDA and everything. That's the whole concept of it. But it's much more of a bounce or bounce is the wrong word. Much more of a jump assist, a one-time jump assist, and that'll take some time.
It makes you Jordan, not Buzz Lightyear.
That is an amazing way to put it. It makes you Michael Jordan, not Buzz Lightyear. Yes, that's exactly.
And I think also that allows us, as we touch on future armor gameplay, it allows us to have a differentiation between different types of armor. So I think some armors will be more associated with the jump assist, and like the heavier armors may less so. So it's just one of the
That's
many
actually
different
not
things
a-
that we're
not
going
a
to
bad
utilize
deal,
to
right?
differentiate different armors going forward.
A lot of it's been a while since we've talked
That
about Saddle
magnetic
Ball.
boots,
Since we
I'd
mentioned
be
Saddle Ball, since anybody's heard anything about Saddle Ball. The questions, it's been through chat for the last hour. Anybody people wanted to know if there's any update at all on Saddle Ball.
Not really. To be totally honest with you guys, there's not a huge update on it, and I'll tell you why. We've talked pretty much this whole time about again the coexistence of PU Squadron and electronic access, and the fact that they all kind of play off each other, right? So there's work that happens here that can be applied here. There's work that happens in PU that can be applied there. Saddle Ball is totally unique in its own regards, right? So the idea of it, the concept of it, doesn't exist anywhere else in Star Citizen, right? So it's a 0G only thing. It's a core. It's not core gameplay at all. It is a whole different set of gameplay that only exists in that one mode. So if we had the resources, it's really, really hard for me to put them on that because it's only serving that, and it's not serving some PU stuff. It's not serving some squadron stuff. It's not serving just Arena Commander Star Marine as its own thing. So basically, everything that we're trying to put resources on is, Rich was running through the weapons and the armor gameplay and all of this. All of it's benefiting PU Squadron 42 and then Arena Commander Star Marine. So we need to work on those things because we don't have that many. It is the lowest priority in terms of the 3 games. So I can't feel okay working on a specific and only that area mechanic that only benefits that one little section.
I think when we first talked about it in 2015, we talked about how it would help with push-pull mechanics, but that's one small, compared to everything else that we have to do.
Sure.
It seems like a lot of work.
But it's like
to
saying,
get that.
yeah, it is like saying that you do it. And here, okay. So before I get too far, Chris will behead me if I go, Saddle Ball ain't happening. That's not what I'm saying. This is not at all what I'm saying. I would love to do this. It's just in the priority set, it's a little bit lower because of that mechanic. Now, to go back to the push-pull sort of concept, you're right. That might help push-pull, or it might slow it down. Because the requirements are like, within Squadron 42, I'm sure there'll be a 0G section that we use push-pull in some way, right? Hopefully, right? So I'm not made a liar later. I doubt you'll be holding a Saddle Ball. That's kind of my point. right, is yeah, okay, maybe it'll help it, but it'll probably actually slow it down, if anything, because it's so unique in its own sense. It's not just push-pull with a weapon. No, it's push-pull with a weapon and a gun. Or with a ball and a gun. So it's just this one unique bit that just put people on where it doesn't benefit the mass of stuff.
I think one thing as well to reflect on is that, you know, we're talking about all of the new things that we want to add to the game, but I don't think any of us here would say that we're happy with the core game, what's there right now. Yeah. So, you know, in terms of the core game, we still feel like we've got a long way to go. You know, we've got really good plans that we want to action. We've got some really good ideas in terms of making that AC and SM more reflective of the PTU, to make us more efficient on the development side, so we can make better decisions. So I think we've got an idea of where we want the core game to be, and I think when we get there, it's going to be a really exciting time. But, you know, we've still got new things coming along the way as well. So Zero-G push-pull is obviously a perfect example, but then you come in terms of intent and focus. And the intent and focus on Zero-G push-pull is to deliver Zero-G push-pull and that mechanic. And, you know, that's not a trivial mechanic to deliver, so it's basically climbing in space. So I think when you look at all of the things that we want to focus on, you absolutely want to get that foundational core gameplay there. You want to get that absolutely solid and foundational. And then obviously, because we're a live product, you know, we're constantly adding new things to the game because we're a large team, we have lots of focus. But I think when you come down to, say, Saddleball, I think it's something that's so unique and bespoke. Really, I think we'd be doing it in expense of something that really we want to get the foundations right first. So I think just backing up Sean's point really is that the core gameplay is something that we want to get focused. We really want to get that driving forward and honing that down to something that absolutely delivering on the vision of the 3 products. And then also then start adding in new mechanics, and then, you know, once we've got those new mechanics, say Zero-G push-pull, the more larger mechanics, then is something that we can look at in the future.
Chat's already talking about making their own Saddleball games for the short game.
Beautiful. Do it.
Absolutely.
And then, you know, there's so many things, and I know we're almost out of time, but, you know, there's all the things that have been, I do pitch all the time. Whenever I get on these things where I can kind of push a little idea anyways, that I want so much of this player base as much as possible, right? If players want to come up with this animal, we can give them but I'd love to put this up in front of the player, for example, racing, like that, so we didn't get a chance to talk about racing. Something that we can talk about.
I do this every Friday. It's always another.
Yeah, for me, Fridays don't exist at 8 a.m. That's
How to get rich anything.
no, I know, and it was actually super valuable.
Well, this is a special Friday for me anyway.
What's that?
Yeah, well, first day on Star Citizen Live, and also my daughter's birthday, so I'm happy about that.
We want the players to be able to build this stuff. So, for example, in racing, I've talked about it before. Giving the pylon, I want to give them the ability to set a gate height and all this kind of stuff, so they can actually set it within the world. So that start date, they can set the middle, and they can set all the middle ground and sort of stuff. They do it anyways. Let's just give them some tiny little structure, and people will go crazy with that. You know, then it's one of these 10 times you make because the players outnumber the developers by a 1,000 to 1, right? Like even further. So probably the biggest. Well, let's say currently playing players, right? You know, based on the metric or whatever. But yeah, there's a lot more players than there is developers, and they'll spend more time on that racetrack, I guarantee you, than the developer will. You know, it's just because they don't have Chris going, I need my soft body pillows and blankets and, you know.
I'd play Turtle Saddleball though.
Yeah, I would play Turtle Saddleball.
Who's asking Chris for a soft body pillow?
No, Chris is asking for physicalized soft body pillows and blankets, hard stuff. Hard stuff. So.
All right. Last question. We're going to combine a couple questions here we get in. We see a lot of requests for AC maps that utilize atmospheric flight. We see requests for Star Marine maps that use ground vehicles, stuff like that. Just expanding to the combined arms idea that you said before. What, if anything, can you tell us about that today?
So I want to be careful how much I talk about because, again, small set of resources, trying some stuff. So a lot of what we've talked about today, we have, this isn't the first time we've heard this. This isn't the first idea we've had of this kind of stuff. So we are taking a look at it. They're great ideas. We have some atmospheric flight, have some ground vehicle existence, have some progression within a map where there's different areas that get done. I've already gone too much. So yes, we are taking a look at this kind of stuff, and we want to bring something to you guys very, very soon here. And whether that's CitizenCon or something in the future, you'll have to just watch this space.
All right. That's it. That's all we got time for. Star Citizen Live, Marina Commander, Star Marine, the good doctor. Richard, how was your first show?
Exceptional.
I'm so happy to have him. It's been great, by the way, with Rich on this side of the pond. So on the combat pillar in general, most of the staff are actually over in the UK. So though they call me the director of that given pillar, Rich really does the real hands-on work. We have our one-on-one things, and occasionally
we've got a good combo going.
But I think we have a real good team here.
All right, so that's it. Thanks for watching. This will be up on YouTube later today. I don't know why I'm talking. If you're sitting here watching it, I'll tell you it's on YouTube. That's it. I'm Jared. That's Sean. That's Richard. And it's still really early. We'll see you next week, everybody.
can't believe I sat there and shot at that cat for that long with only 2 of my 4 guns. Even with 4, it takes a good while. And this is the Jeep Aurora, no frills. You buy it, it only comes with 2 guns. Holds 4, but it only comes with 2. Nice. They thought they were safe. Hell yeah. And that one's big enough I might actually could get behind it and hit the shield hole. I'm not real good at, I mean, I try to stay behind ships, but it's hard to do depending on what you're in. Most of the ships I fly are not that agile, so. Actually, I've had fun flying this thing. Yeah. Let's see, save it, then move around. I like the red-green lines. Yeah, it looks like all the jets, even the ones pointing forward, are blowing. I don't know why they do that. I was actually amazed after I put these guns. I was amazed how I could do the bounties in it, because I kind of been telling people you probably can't do bounties in them, or even the Mustangs, And this is the first time I've ever been able to do bounties reasonably consistent, That time I took a little damage, but I could have gotten through that without it if I'd have started with all 4 guns. Trying to kill a caterpillar with 2 size 1 guns is not really a good deal. Barely does it with 4. So yeah, it is fun. I like the idea. I mean, it's kind of incognito, I can fly around when I'm at PO flying around. People probably think I'm a new player, right? Yeah, they actually are. I mean, they're tanky, but I've never been able to do enough damage to kill anything with them. And, it kind of takes figuring out some guns and I swapped to my preferred weapons and added the extra 2 that it doesn't come with. When I first started, I didn't know all that. I've tried to do bounty missions with the default 2 guns when it's supposed to have 4. And I mean, you could do some damage. Back then, they didn't have the actual bounties like they had now. They had ECNs, where you'd go out and protect the 1 ship. And usually it was like 3 ships, and And it does seem like maybe they were scaled, because I mean the streamers I watched with bigger ships seemed to get different set of combatants. I'd always get, you know, smaller ones, Buccaneers and other Auroras, the LN Auroras. And I could actually, you know, when I finally realized it had 2 more gun slots and filled all the gun slots, I could actually do the ECN. So I could kill 2 or 3 small ships in a row with one. But it was, well, I say I could, it was 50-50, whether I'd get blown up before it was over or whether I'd complete it. I could get through it, but it wasn't like consistent.
Quantum drive is now off. Quantum drive is now off. Quantum drive is now off.
Yeah, you're correct. Yeah, why? I was just reading that link, and yeah, the first question: why did Newsweek hear it before the backers? Because the PR team decided that it would be better publicity. That's not hard to figure. To get Newsweek to publish a story, they had to give them some kind of a scoop, some breaking news, not the same old news that everybody else was publishing. Otherwise, they wouldn't bother. So yeah, that's kind of what I was hoping for in today's stream. Was more about the big news scoop that they just put out. They gave Newsweek this great big news scoop, and now they're not really telling us anything more than they told them. And even though they have a news show, for us, you know, and that's kind of like, man, I wanted to hear more about the features coming out. I'll see it soon enough, but yeah, I'm greedy for more. What they gave Newsweek was just enough to be, you know, PR quality. Not really enough for explaining to backers exactly how things are going to work. Yeah, that's part of the stigma, I guess. Mystery. Mystery makes for great PR. Look at how they revealed the Manus, right? Right, just enough to be compelling, and that's fine. That's, you know, that's PR. That's the whole point. Yeah, exactly. Same with the Manus. They, you know, the reveal on the Manus. They, you know, that mystery and just enough info to be compelling is, you know, draws people in. It you know, it gets people curious, gets people talking. You know, when that you know, there was tons of Reddit posts and everything just about what it might could be, just because they didn't know, right? Maybe more chatter than if they'd actually said exactly what it was going to be. I don't know. Gear.
Transitioning gear.
Landing gear deployed.
Yeah, I don't care that they put it out there first, but I sure had hoped that they'd talked more about what was in that. I mean, that's the big news, right? You know, what we saw there is the big news, not what they talked about in the live show today. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm sure, like I said, I'm sure there's a lot of people that are extremely interested in what they were talking about, and the Arena Commander and all that. And I'm glad they're doing some updates to it. But that wasn't the headline news, really. I guess the obvious, you know, thought would be that they just don't want to, they want to keep us in suspense on any more than they've already revealed. So give PTU. And there's that same bug. I've had that a lot. Just a little graphic, some wall or something. I think it's sticking through from below, you know. Hey, Lord Mischief. I didn't even try to repair my ship. Darn it. Why am I coming in? That's all I was doing. Okay. Let's see. Guess I'll just claim it instead of refueling it. May or may not work. There's my Connie. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know why the Connie doesn't show up half the time. I got to scroll up and down to get it to show. Oh boy, that would be hard to say exactly. I've seen some people playing with some older equipment, but still pretty high end. I can tell you I can show you what they suggest, what the, you know, RSI and what the game. I can show you this. It's pretty cool. They give mine. I don't have a real great machine. I mean, it's definitely, and you'll see here, as a matter of fact, where my machine sits. Here's where my machine sits. This dot here is recommended, and this is what they're considering minimum. So if we look at minimum, you're looking at, an i7-77HQ, which is a mobile processor, or an 8350 8-core. Now this is actually a quad core, I know, because I have a 7700, but it's not the mobile. Mine's 3.8 or no 4.2 gig.
Transitioning gear.
And yeah, I would say that's what you're gonna want, somewhere in the 970 to 1060. You could probably play it with a, well, as a matter of fact, I know a friend of mine plays it with a 1050 and a it's a 1050 Ti, and he's playing it on a laptop. But that's kind of what you're looking at right in here. 980, 960, 1050. And I'm looking at the graphics cards there, like a 960 or better, 1050 Ti or better. And there are people playing it with even less. Here's somebody playing it with an older 750 Ti. Yeah, they show 750 and 750 Ti on a couple of them. Let's see what they're looking like. Where's frame rate? Oh, average frame rate of 20. Yeah, that's what they say for mine. I've never actually seen if mine is comparable. That's probably pretty dang close to what exactly I have. Now here's my processor. And here's my GPU. And that's probably real close to what I get. Yeah, me personally, I don't think I want to try playing this on anything less than, say, a 1066 gig or equivalent. I mean, I don't really know the AMD equivalents or anything. You'd have to look it up, but you know, I use NVIDIA, so I have a 1070, and I play it pretty good. And streaming, so you know, streaming takes 10-12% CPU. So there's my specs. There's what I'm doing right now. 04. If that'll help you decide. But yeah, me personally, what a pad 4, wouldn't I wouldn't want to have anything less than, say, a 1066 gig. Because you also got to remember.
Raiding party!
Hey, Antonio. What's getting shot? Uh-oh. This may be bad. And I'm actually using VSync, so it'll cap it. I'm capped at 60. It won't go over 60. Oh, let's see. I can turn that off and see what we get. Lord Mischief, thank you. Hey, Antonio, appreciate the raid. Welcome. I don't know what they're shooting at. Hopefully not me. I don't have a crime stat. And yeah, Lord, you can also see my full specs here. But you could get, especially if you can find somebody, or you know somebody that knows a little bit about the AMD stuff. They tend to be a little cheaper, and while I used to might say that yeah, they're not shooting at me. I'll just get out of the way. I used to say, you know, NVIDIA was definitely better, blah, blah, blah. And I still am an NVIDIA guy. I like NVIDIA. The AMDs have gotten, I mean, there's not much, if any, difference in the decent AMDs anymore. They're still a little cheaper. But quality-wise, they've caught up or real close to anything. So, you know, I can't, I won't say you can't build a machine with very similar products to what I bought, somewhat cheap, quite a bit cheaper. I wanted to try a bounty, but I'm not getting, or a delivery, but I'm not getting the ones I like. And these are alright, but they're half the pay almost. Let's see, I guess I need to go somewhere. You get different missions from different locations, so let's go to Porto. Oh, no problem, huh? No problem. I build my own computers, so I built this one for a lot cheaper than say the specs would cost. Well, I take that back. You really don't save a lot anymore building your own PCs. The only advantage nowadays is you know what you get. You know, in other words, if you buy one, it may have the exact same specs mine does on the box, but they may use a cheaper motherboard or power supply or whatever. You never know. You don't know, so you don't know what those, because those may not be listed, you know. Ouch. What do we got here? A cutty. Let's take him just for fun. We got help anyway. This won't take too long. Come on, baby. Get over there. I don't even know what the range on these number ones are. I'm guessing not real great. I forgot to change my... Again, come on. There we go. This is not a paying mission. I normally don't bother with these interdictions because of that. Oh, pop, pop. I like watching them blow up though. Come on, hit the dot. No wonder I can't hit it, he's too far away. Yeah, I mean, and that's why that's the only reason that other guy jammed me. That's the only reason I still build PCs my own anymore. You just know what all the internals are, and you know, doing all that research and stuff, you learn a good bit about PCs. So it kind of helps you decide what you need. Oh man, that's too bad. Well, 980 would do it, but the other thing you might want to consider too is that the game's going to grow. I mean, they're going to optimize, and you know, the OCS stuff will help, but it's going to grow. You know, so you know, if you get something that's barely going to play it, you may have time playing it in a couple of years. You know. So, you know, keep that in mind. I mean, I built this PC 2 years ago thinking I would have some forward, you know, compatibility. And yeah, I didn't get near as long a forward compatibility as I thought I would get. But if you like me, that's, I mean, I spent more than I really could afford, even getting to this point. So I definitely understand that. PCs are high dollar these days. Another introduction. Uh-oh, I gotta stop for this one. Yeah, I mean, it's, as far as gaming PCs, it's not that big.
Please halt and stand by.
But yeah, I'm hoping I do.
All right, everything checks out. You're free to go.
Quantum drive is now on.
But the 1070s have actually gone up from when I bought mine. I mean, I bought mine right before the prices jumped. And I paid $325 for this GPU, and I'm pretty sure it's higher. I'm thinking I could actually sell it on eBay for that much. I don't know. I looked at it a while back, and it seemed like everybody ran the prices of the 10X series cards way up in the 2080s when the 20X came out. Let's see, do I have it? Nope. Guess I'm out of coffee. Oh well. Time for the water. I've got just enough time to turn the AC on. So true. Unfortunately, my wallet can't keep up with the progress. I forgot to turn the AC on yesterday. My wife was mad at me. Don't want to do it today. Not mad, but... then we got some more. We got the Kovalacs. They're pretty decent. Any of the... there's the ones I like. If you're doing courier missions, always start at the bottom. Check, see the prices? Top two are cheapos. Bottom two are the ones you want. Same with any of these. Always double check all the prices, because some of them... Let's see... On Daymar, that's a good one. I'll take that. Let's see, what was that other one? On Daymar to Lorville Gate 4. I don't even want to go to Lorville. So yeah, we'll just do this one.
Radar contact.
10
Wow, Calgary, well, cool. I'm in central U.S., Oklahoma, and yeah, it's just 85 degrees here today, 86 somewhere in there, mid 80s to 90s all week. That's Fahrenheit, obviously. I'm not sure. Calgary, they use the metric as well. Anybody with sense nowadays does. As far as I know, U.S. is the only ones that can't learn the metric system. Yeah, we rarely ever get snow. I mean, we get rainy, we get frozen ice and sleet, even when it snows. We don't get any of the pretty stuff. Very rarely. I mean, sometimes we get a little powder, but.
Quantum drive.
I do like this thing. I have quite a few ships. This is one I actually bought in game just to play with, and I've been having a blast flying around in it. Which is kind of funny. I couldn't wait to get out of it when I owned it. I guess that's because it was the only ship I had. Yeah, I agree, and I think it's probably going to get worse. This is the one of the starter ships, the Aurora. Only I bought this one in game. I don't actually own this one or anything, and it'll go away on a wipe. But it's one of the base starter ships. Actually, this is the El Cheapo Aurora. You get an MR, which I don't know what the difference. I think it has cargo and this one doesn't. But yeah. Okay, I've just been having fun doing bounties and delivery missions in it. I don't know. Can you believe I'm killing caterpillars and Valkyries in it with size 1 guns? I couldn't believe it. I haven't actually tried a. Did I kill a? I might have. I'm not sure I've killed a Connie in it yet, but I've killed all the other. I don't know. You'd have to check on your account. Because when I started, I bought the Mustang. Well, you could show them this. You could show them the stream. I don't know how fast I can do. Well, actually, I can do bounties and make pretty fast money. I'm going to do this delivery mission. I'm not sure. But normally, Lord Mischief, you can only do, you can't carry a box in a Mustang, no. So, but I know when I started, I bought the Mustang package, and I had an Aurora loaner. And I had an Aurora loaner with my in other words, they loaned me a free one with the Mustang. Now, I don't know if that goes for your package or if they still do that or anything else. Oh, I'll be so happy when this hover mode goes away. I'm hoping I can land and take off here, but we'll see. But yeah, I got both. You know, I got a loaner in the Aurora, and then I never used, and actually I never even used the I think they do. The last time I talked to somebody was not too long ago, and they said they did. Maybe, well, it's only with the Mustang. In other words, if you buy the Aurora pack, you'll only get the Aurora. But if you buy the Mustang pack, you get the Aurora and the Mustang. And I'm pretty sure... yeah, you can trade it up. Yeah, you can upgrade. Oh yeah, the Mustangs do have some cargo, do they? But yeah, if you don't have I mean, just look in the terminal. You might actually have an Aurora, but you can definitely trade it up. Actually, it would be, you know, actually for you going from the Mustang to the, you know, it wouldn't cost you anything. You'd probably have to melt and rebuy the other package, but I would double check, because I'm pretty sure you'll have an Aurora loaner now. I think they changed that a while back, where they gave everybody with a Mustang the loaner. Oh yeah. But yeah, that actually I agree with what Antonio's saying. I mean, you know, it's a few bucks more for the Titan, but they're the best of both worlds. You know, it's 20 bucks more than the starter package, and I you know, maybe not right now. You'll have to get your PC going and all that, and you know, then think about it. But yeah, I do recommend that be your first upgrade. That's what I'm delivering. Yep. No, these won't fit. You can do some cargo, but that's like internal. But yeah, oh shit, I should have placed it. That's I don't like the way that's sitting. Yeah, you can't put these in a Mustang. They don't have any stand-up interior. That's like I said, I bought a Mustang, and then I got the free Aurora, and then I never even used the Aurora.
Take off.
I mean, they're great little ships, don't get me wrong. I just, for me, I just like the little shoebox with an engine. A cargo is what you go to the terminal and you buy commodities, and it's automatically loaded into your ship. Now, they're physicalized. Once you buy them and you go look in your ship, you'll see boxes that look just like that in your cargo, but you don't actually put them there. And then you go somewhere else and you go to a trade terminal and you sell them, and they disappear out of your ship. You don't, and they're physicalized. You see them, but well, there is a way to do it. I've seen people, you know, do it, but yeah, it's not. I never bother. I mean, yeah, I've heard that before, so I wouldn't doubt it. Let me look at that. I get out of that. Oh wait, just go ahead and go. See what we got here. Yeah, now it's something about throwing it up in there. It's not. Yeah, okay. Huh. It's sort of just rattling in there. I guess it's there. Now you can put them in there. There's the proof. The smallest cargo ship, I guess, would be the cargo variant of this thing, of the Aurora. I mean, that's the thing. There's let's see, get rid of that. Yeah, there's cargo variants of pretty much everything. Even the Mustang, I think, has a cargo variant. So that's how I'm chasing the wrong dot here. So that, you know, what's the smallest one? Probably the cargo variant of either this or the Mustang. It's gonna be the shipment. That's not where I need to go. There's where I need to go. And I do believe that the MR or the Mustang starter package does have 2 or 3 SCU of cargo. And the Aurora cargo MR, the starter pack, I think has 3 or 4 SCU of cargo. So there's a little bit of difference between the delivery missions and cargo. I just like I mean, I'm just kind of playing in this starter ship. Heck, I could probably, what's the cheapest Mustang? I could probably go buy a Mustang and try it out. I might have to do that. Let me see what the cheapest Mustang is. What did I miss here? Dogs, here we go. Alpha's $250. I guess the Alpha would be the cheapest. Just just log into the website. Go to your hangar and it'll tell you. It'll also tell you if you have a loaner. It'll show that. Well, do the loaners show? No, the loaner won't show. I wonder if they have that on the loaner matrix. Well, yeah, so far it's not really great, because they're you know, they don't have any kind of persistence through wipes, and you know, we get wipes now. They don't have you know, we get wipes every 3 months at the latest. So you know, a small ship like this one was only 125,000. Yeah, you know, I could buy another one of these. So, you know, they're fairly easy, but even that, it's, you know, to buy a big shipping game, you're not gonna. That's actually my normal. That's normally what you see. 90% of my streams, I'm flying a freelancer, my base freelancer. I love my Lancer. I just bought this thing at Game and been having a blast with it, and it definitely makes it a little more interesting trying to kill bounties in an Aurora with size 1 guns. Definitely a little bit more interesting, but on screen. Might as well get rid of that. Hide chat. That one did more. Oh, you mean the freelancer game? Yeah, I loved it. That, everybody when they hear Chris Roberts, they talk about the other ones, the Wing Commander series, and I never even got into them then. But I bought Freelancer, the '03, the video game, and boy, I loved it. And that's what I think of when I hear his name, So yeah, I love that game. I still have it somewhere. I even had a stream. I even did a little bit of a stream with it. Yeah, I never got into modding too much in it. I mean, I did a couple of little mods, but most of what I just used, the mod manager and downloaded some big mods because they were cool. Some of the full conversion stuff that's out. Family friend, well, actually, a kid of a family friend, still plays Freelancer. Apparently, there's still, Oh, okay, yeah. So, yeah, that's a maybe not a full conversion, but that's a big conversion. Those are the ones that I thought were neat. They had a bunch of those on Freelancer. I wouldn't worry too much about the flak. Everybody, like when that Forbes article came out, and these guys are good at PR, and what the number one thing about a PR is you take a negative and make it positive. And if you think, even bad publicity is still publicity. Gets people talking about the game. I don't know how many people came into my chat. I don't have a big viewership, mind you. So, I had 2 or 3 people come in asking me about the game because they read that Forbes article. Now, they slammed on him on the Forbes article, but yeah, they'd come in and start asking, and they hadn't even heard of it until that article, right? So even bad publicity it's still publicity. It's still putting the game out there. So I wouldn't worry too much about it. I mean, I remember Ark Survival. Is that one of the mods? I think that I may have played that mod. But yeah, the same. I remember Ark Survival and all. Boy, I mean, people were slamming them left and right for everything, right? And kill your hello, don't kill my shoebox. Oh yeah, yeah. Yeah, I think I might have played one of the Discovery versions. I'm not sure at the time what it was. Like I say, that's been close to 10 years. I actually installed and played it on a stream not too long ago. Freelancer, I mean, just the base game. Just to kind of look at it and some of the similarities between that and this, because I see quite a bit of similarity in the games. I mean, basic similarity, not extensive, but.
Engines critical. Engines are off. Engines are on.
Engine critical means it's going to overheat. That's a new thing if you haven't played it lately. Yeah. because I stopped, we're gonna get interdicted. Just trying to pick up my blocks. And nope.
Attention. I have been authorized to scan your vehicle for contraband. Please halt and stand by. All right. Everything checks out. You're free to go.
Drive is now
Hi, Lord Mischief. Appreciate you stopping by and hanging out. And yeah, come on back anytime. Appreciate the follow as well. Thanks for the support. Hope you can get you a PC going so you can jump in the verse. Hey, welcome to click on my Discord and jump in game with me if you can get a PC going. Get that out of my way. Yeah, I hate to say it, but definitely make money faster during the bounty missions. Even in this thing, it takes a while to kill most of them. I don't know why I can't get the Hurston missions like I could in 3.5. Those would have been a lot easier, a lot better.
Quantum Drive is now
But just because they were more distinctive on the specific ships, you know, you could choose the right price ones and you could guarantee what ship you were going to get. Ones I'm doing over in Delamar there,
Quantum Drive is now
they can be anything from a Buccaneer all the way through a Connie, even for the same price.
Quantum Drive is now off.
It makes a funny noise when you spin. Yeah, I just think it's not the prettiest ship in the world, but fun to fly. I guess I'm just so used to that freelancer that I not the game, the ship. And this thing maneuvers a ton better than that. And that's not bad. I mean, for its size, it's a dang good maneuvering ship. For example, it's a heck of a lot more agile and maneuverable than the Connies. Yeah, a good bit. Not a heck of a lot, but a good bit. Darker, you have SC. You're obviously a bit of a fan of Chris Roberts' games, if you like Freelancer. I And I'm guessing you have, let's see, clear out, yeah. You're a citizen, you have the game here.
Please proceed to assign landing leg.
Surely it'll be on this strut here, right? Huh. What am I missing here? Over here. Did they not give me a landing spot?
That request has already been granted.
Ah, it's back in there. There it is. Here.
Transitioning gear.
Landing gear deployed. Landing complete.
Landing complete. Have a pleasant stay.
Not sure if it'll refuel while I'm not in the ship or whatnot. Should. Sounds like it is. Cool. No point in holding the run button. It can't run with a box. Yeah, I'd have to say that bounties are still probably going to be faster. Right now there's a bug where the guns themselves, you can get repairs, but the guns themselves don't always repair, so unfortunately you gotta, if you're doing just grinding like for credits, doing bounties and grinding for credits, you gotta reclaim your ship as opposed to just repair and refuel it. But it's not like this thing is a big deal. Repairs quick. Now, where am I going? Oh. How cute. Right above me. But this is going to be the bread and butter for people that don't want to do the combat or the ship combat. You can also do FPS missions. On pad 3. But yeah, I think for me, I would have to say that bounty missions, they can be touchy to get too. Get out of this elevator. Alright, last patch. See if I don't have any right here probably. Wrong buttons. Okay, well I have the player bounties. It says bounty issued as opposed to bounty assignment or wanted something. I forget, I don't even remember what the Hurston bounties say anymore. Those were my bread and butter last patch. Now I'm doing the Crusader security ones. I can't get the others to pop up.
Flare selected.
I got all my fuels. I don't have
Take off complete.
any noticeable damage.
Clear raised.
But let's see. I wanted to look one of these panels. Let me do this right. One of these panels has yeah, hell. Let's see if we can find the guns. Everything there is good. Does this have health? Yes, it does. Cool. Wonder if they got those fixed. Go ahead and change those. Okay. So to do missions, I gotta get back over to Crusader. But it's actually there I'm gonna be heading, so let's go there. Oh, this is the one that's always obstructed. My bad. Yeah, that one you can't go to from the bottom of the map. I don't know why. Bottom right area of the map, that one station is always obstructed. Get back over here where I belong. I'm not sure if this ship here even has a cargo at all, the cheap one. I think not. But I know the MR, the one that comes with the game package, it has cargo. 2 to 4 SCU, I don't know what. Not much. Tiny ship. think I claimed my freelancer by accident. Hey, Alec, yeah, happy TGIF. I am hyped about 3.7, a lot more than I was about 3.5 or 3.6, that's for sure. That I mean, the mission sharing, I won't say it's a game changer, but yeah, it's definitely going to put a new and you know, fun factor in there, I think. Yeah. If they're gonna, you know, if you read that Newsweek article, it's strongly suggestive that we might see the Mantis, which is obviously won't drop till 3.7, hopefully around the 10th. But yeah, I would be surprised if we don't see Wave 1 by say midweek next week at the latest. Yeah, I won't say the latest, but when it's in Evo Cadi, so I was figuring a weekish in Evo, a weekish in a couple of different waves. Yeah. Well, that's kind of what they told, that's kind of what Newsweek got from their interview or whatever they got from them. But I mean, you know, technically, if you read the map, it's supposed to be the end of the month, next 3 days. Yeah, yeah. Well, that's what have you seen that Newsweek article where they released the info on the mantis coming up? That's where we're kind of getting the 10th. In the article, they suggest it's the anniversary, but I thought that was in November, end of November. Yeah, they talk about the interdiction mechanic that it brings. It's the mechanic and the ship. I guess they thought that was good publicity to give it to Newsweek. Yeah. There's the article if you didn't have it. I guess they thought it was good publicity, and they probably had to give them like a scoop, something that none of the other people had to get Newsweek to do it. That may be part of the deal. So I don't know. I kind of thought it was odd, when people were talking about it, and I'm like, okay, well, I don't normally follow Newsweek. But actually, I guess Newsweek, Forbes, and all of them are starting to do gaming stuff, reviews and whatnot. Gaming has gotten to become such a big business that it's becoming news, I guess.
Quantum drive is now off.
Oh, I didn't set the second one. Oh, wait a minute. All I wanted to do was check missions. I should be able to see some missions. Yeah, there's an assignment I can do.
Quantum drive is now on.
Yeah, just kind of an advertising PR thing, I think, by SIG. Like I say, it kind of caught me off guard or whatever, but oh well. They were actually asking questions about that, why and Spectrum, and I've seen several questions like, why didn't they announce it normally? But I don't know. Weird.
Waving hello.
Yeah, it's the last paragraph they talk about the release date, and they talk about it being the anniversary, but I'm not sure what anniversary they're talking about. 'Cause I'm pretty sure that, the big one that we celebrate in game, the big ship expo or whatever it is like end of November. Well, I know for a fact it is. I know that because I started at the beginning of November last year, and that was pretty cool. I was early game when Hurston came out. I'd only been playing a couple of weeks. Well, yeah. Well, that's why I say it. It was probably a marketing thing by SIG to release it as a, a scoop, like. Finished a movie. Oh, the Defender? Yeah. It's gonna be a pretty good, I think it's a light fighter they're calling it. 4 size 3s, so. I think it's 4 size 3s. Won't swear to it. It does look cool though. Well, this isn't the only QT I made, Antonio. Jeez. Kill the Aurora.
What a mess.
What a mess. That's right. What a mess. And this is the cheapest. No, they can't. And not only that, it has a lot of playable features rather than just artwork or whatever. It's got a lot of stuff for people to play around with. Even the attachments. I mean, they're small time. And just in case anybody's wondering, I got old ballistics on the thing. It's the only edit I made, only upgrades. What do you got against Auroras? I'm having a fun time. At least a Titan. I do have the Warlock. It's fun too. Haven't really mastered the MP at all. What if I upgrade the quantum drive? Would that help? You're only in a hurry because it's what, 8 o'clock for you already? 9 o'clock? Oh, you're 6, so it's 7 o'clock there. Almost there.
Almost there.
I need to change that command from almost there to are we there yet? I think I will. Or just add another one. Since I've got time. Yeah, I gotta do that. I gotta add it if I can figure it out. I can figure out where the other one is. I think you can actually copy them. I could do that. So you could There it is. Let's see, is there a... Cancel. Okay, let's just oops. And cat locks. How about that? Saves the last directory. That's just too cool. I think that's actually as loud as it needs to be. Put it back up here, well, all the way up here. There we go. Oh, okay, a command, Get down to Harry Sounds. I need to copy one of those. So the command will be there yet.
Quantum drive is now off.
Now where do I put the sound? I don't even, oh, here it is. I'm doing this wrong, so cancel. I need to put that sounds. There we go.
Almost there.
That's how you activate it. Now where was my body? I should be able to do this. Are we there yet?
Almost there.
Oh, you did it too. I'm not as good as nerd show as other nerds. I'm not sure how to make it change it. You can also do, but this is actually a hidden one. I'm not sure I should show you. You can also do, and this is all the sound clips, but that's actually a hidden one, and you can see why. I know it. Which one is it? Okay, we'll find it in here and make sure it's, maybe I spelled it wrong or something. Those are all the working ones. Those are pulled right off the, off of this one. But I don't think are they in, it shows it right there. Let's try it.
Get off my plane.
It didn't work for you. Yeah, the clips command, I don't list it. As you can see, it could almost be trolly. It spams a lot of stuff, but that's all of them. As far as I know, it's supposed to.
Get back, you oil-thirsty parasite!
Now the link that I give when you use sound, what is it you used up here? Sounds. That actually gives you the, oh, there may be like a 30 or 60 second cooldown on them. Most of them, I tried to turn that off, but like that last one I put in, I probably forgot. It defaults to like a 60-second timeout or whatever, 30, 60 seconds. And I normally try to get rid of that, but like that last one, I think I forgot. So probably about half of them have a timeout, a timer or whatever. Now, I'm gonna go kill a caterpillar. Show you what I'm gonna do to you when I catch you hauling cargo when I'm out in my Aurora. You bad mouth in my shoebox. Don't kill the baby shoeboxes. Oh, great. That's why I always have my caps lock on. It's actually fast in SCM now. That's 1300, I think. It's pretty quick in SCM. There he is. Unknown. That might be it. Not that one, I know that. Yeah, that's my target right there. not sure who ran into who, but I didn't appreciate that. What are you doing? Come here. Damn, I hate these. These are harder to kill than the other ones are. Harder to hit. There we go. Come here. Yeah. Shoot at me with those shotguns. It looks like he's got shotguns on it too. Dang, that was as hard as the Valkyries and other ones, big ones I tried to kill with it. Hard to hit them. Yeah, that clips command, that's straight out of chatbot. It just lists all my sound clips. There's 2 or 3 songs that I have in here. Well, there's 2. There's that and Firefly that are theme songs. The rest are sound clips or sound bites, whatever you want to call them. Yeah, I need to add a couple more little theme songs or sound songs, I guess. But those usually get flagged. I don't know about that engine, the way it pulses, I think it's about to blow up. Seems like a jet engine would be a little bit more of a solid sound. Yeah, like I say, if you open up that the link you get with sounds, the sounds command, it'll actually give you the text, the dialogue for the sound clips. And reference to where it's from, you know, movie and who's saying it. Sound clips are alright. Some of them aren't. The volume, it's just hard, you know, you get a sound clip from here or there, and volumes are all different. It's hard to get everything balanced with them sound-wise. One will be too loud, one will be too quiet. Making sure one of those dots isn't just a smaller asteroid closer than you think. fooled by asteroids before. There we go. That's a good looking view. See, there's nothing in the way. Ah, I guess it's the Titan that's 1,300 meters SCU. SCM speed. This one's only 1140. That's still decent. I think my freelancer's just over 1,000, 1,005, something like that. Not sure what the Conair fighters are, other than the Avenger. I know it's fast. That is, and this speed. They used to call it SCM speed. I don't know why. Yeah, I just have a mishmash of different sounds. I need to add some more just to... Wow, he's not my target. Dang, it's another Cutlass. Alrighty, see if I can do a little better on this guy. Shot by others. Hey, turn around, man. Can't really. I don't. I might have to go to the Avenger. This thing doesn't want to strafe sideways. It kind of jerks when you go sideways. You start doing up and down. Maybe that's what it was. There we go. lost power. Ah. Somebody blew something up, I guess. Damn it. I can't even stop spinning now. Guess I could eject. Get out. Wonder if there's any ship out here I can steal. I didn't make it. Should have thought of it a little earlier. I don't know why that ghost chat is there. That's like from a week ago. Ah. Done playing around with that guy. I'll try that again in a minute. But I want to go kill that guy. Guess I need to pay more attention in that thing. When the shields go, I need to pull back, let them build up. That's the problem with doing missions in this thing. You get so used to being not impervious, but close to it compared to those cutlasses. Oh wait, I wanted to. I don't know if I reclaimed this. Yeah, I reclaimed it. I had to. Should have had to golf carts back there. I have to go load me some more up here. Gear.
Transitioning gear.
Hey Antonio, are you happy? I got my freelancer. I got a bigger ship out. That guy killed me, so now I gotta go get revenge. I wasn't sure it was him or one of those other guys. From what I understand, these asteroid interdictions are gonna be done away with. What's the chance they're gonna... Hey. I figured they would have jammed me. Oh, look at that. I barely made it through there. Wow. If I'd have gone an iota closer, I wouldn't have made that jump. Come on, guys. I don't have all of my shields yet anyway. I'm not messing with them. On a revenge mission. I don't have time to get you. Are we there yet? Didn't work that one. Are we there yet?
Almost there.
Are we there yet? Are we there yet?
Almost there.
Close enough. not being there. Why is that listed as a clip? That's funny. That's one of the newer ones that I hadn't really checked. I remember that Aurora dude. It grew up. Became a freelancer. Now you ain't boy. This thing's bigger and slower than he is, but it makes up with the permanent gimbal assist. If I could put bigger solid weapons on it, I would. Fixed weapons, but since I have it, I might as well use it. You don't have to use the gimbal assist, but that didn't take long. Obviously, he had a little bit of damage. I mean, this thing will take him out pretty quick, but yeah, I think he already had some damage. Oh, now the music starts. Barely even got my guns warmed up. So I'll do some more, but I don't need the money. I'm really just doing them in the Aurora because they're fun. What the heck? I did not fire it. Wow, my guns just fired off once when I broke the armistice for no reason. But
There we go. One hangar all ready to go.
gear.
Transitioning gear.
Touchdown!
Touchdown.
Landing complete.
Boy, I got a little far forward, didn't I? Can't see the bag ends. Actually, I think I'm gonna call that good. Have a couple of things I want to do this afternoon, and probably be back on playing this evening. Not sure I'll be streaming or whatnot, but you know, who knows. Appreciate yeah, views, and we'll talk to you probably later. Appreciate the raid, Antonio, and follow from Lord Mischief. And I'll talk to everybody later. Have a wonderful day and a wonderful weekend if I don't see you before Mondays. Take care.